Hello and welcome to Gamer Culture 101,
where we're gonna be taking a look at some of the most toxic species of our culture, right after Crypto Bros and Sigma males. Today we're going to study the life cycle of a very peculiar species, the Valorant Player, who among many others, such as LOL, CSGO and Apex players, form part of the non-Gramencactus family, which roughly translates to not grass toucher.
But before we start, you might be wondering, what is Valorant? Well, if you already know, you can enjoy this sick Subway Surfers gameplay, but if not, come with me.
Valorant is an FPS game, which stands for First Person Shooter, meaning you see through your character's eyes and you shoot enemies. There are two teams, attackers and defenders. The attackers must grab this triangular thingy called the spike, bring it to special places called bomb sites, and defend it for 45 seconds, while the defenders need to prevent that by shooting the attackers. They will do this for 12 rounds, and then the teams will swap places. First team to 13 rounds wins, and usually lasts for around 45 minutes. In this game, every character has unique abilities that give them different roles and playstyles, such as smokes to reduce visibility, flashes to blind mostly your teammates, stuns to prevent movement, or mollies to make the floor harmful. These characters can be divided into 4 roles: Controller, who places smokes, Initiator, who starts the attack, Sentinel, who delays the enemy, and Duelist, who goes for kills and creates openings.
Now that you know what the game is about, let's go through the origins of its player base.
This species in particular evolved from the Papilio antimacus, a poisonous butterfly who learned that to survive you need to hide and be toxic, which then de-evolved when it received a Wi-Fi connection and a computer, canalizing all its toxicity onto the screen. Some of its more prominent characteristics include their smell, social awkwardness, and unique expressions, such as GG, NT, or HF, but they come in all shapes and sizes. However, many Valorant players can look like normal human beings to the naked eye, so it is important to perform the whole effluent toxicity test. Simply state, GG easy, and if the individual goes into an uncontrollable rage, it is essential to restrain them immediately and lock them up in a maximum security nursery until they stop crying about their skill issues. Their life cycle consists of 4 stages: egg, larva, chrysalis, and finally becoming a beautiful butterfly. Their journey begins when the egg is placed in an extremely toxic community. Like turtles, they will need to survive a dangerous and difficult road full of obstacles before reaching maturity, and finally enjoying the game. While in their egg state, the player will start testing out different mechanics which they are likely not familiar with, making everything feel new and exciting, trying new characters and weapons while being constantly barraged with toxicity from every enemy and teammate alike. At this point in time, they are just a normal human being trying to enjoy the game, but eventually they will find a particular character and playstyle that resonates with them, and will start to play exclusively that character, becoming their first main. This will mark their birth as a Valorant player. When the larva emerges from the egg, they will still have barely any understanding of their bodily functions, such as shooting, planting the spike, or using abilities, so it will walk into enemy fire over and over and over again until they finally start to grasp the basic knowledge that they need in order to survive in this harsh environment. Like any other living organism, in order to grow, they need to eat. This specimen feeds off a particular substance, called experience, which allows them to level up. To obtain it, they will need to participate in many challenges and modes such as unrated, swift play, deathmatch, spike rush, and escalation.
It is important that these creatures should always stay together, by choosing the server of their country or whichever one is closest,
as any attempt to communicate in another language will be treated as a threat and answered with a BGM-109C Tomahawk missile, or whatever insults the users have at their disposal. As they learn to play, we can start to classify them into different categories. For example, those who choose a controller as their main are known as controller mains, those who choose a sentinel as sentinel mains, those with an initiator as initiator mains, and those who choose to install a duelist every single game are known as cancer. Once they have reached level 20, a new mode will unlock. Not knowing that this is the most toxic place in the realm, they will decide to enter, but they may never be able to exit.
That was sick.
Upon entering the place, they will immediately start their metamorphosis by going into the chrysalis phase. During this time, the individual will completely forget about any other duty in their life, such as taking showers or hanging out with friends. This will give them the ability of time dilatation, allowing them to play over 50 games a day even if it shouldn't be physically possible. However, some of the modes that fed them while they were in the larva stage will no longer provide any substance to the individual and will be transported to a different dimension known as server maintenance. In these lands, there is a hierarchy of ranks, ranging from the Iron Peasants, Gold Middle Class, Diamond Knights, all the way to the top 500 Radiant Kings. They will prove their strength in great battles, which tales will last for perpetuity. And for what, you ask? Well, for the greatest honor a player can receive, of course. Tiny medal to place on their guns.
Since the first tools were created by humans, it is believed that decorating the weapons empowers both the user and the tool, giving them the protection of the gods. This could be seen in various knives and weapons found in alphabetical sites. This belief can still be seen in contemporary weapons, and lives on to this day with a simple saying: skins equals skills.
The moment the player realizes this is called the awakening. Here, we managed to record some rare footage of the awakening of a youngster player. In this case, the individual became fascinated by the fact that literally 0% of the people watching are subscribed, so please hit that thumbs up. Spending money on changing the color of a weapon might have seemed crazy before, but now that the player knows the power behind this tradition, acquiring better skins will be a must. This will lead to a complete bankruptcy and selling their left kidney in the black market in order to purchase the new bundle that just came out, which is completely reasonable. Speaking of black market, Valorant has one of its own, called the Night Market. This special event occurs every couple of months and offers discount on 6 random skins, making the player realize that they don't need 3 meals a day and they can survive with just 2. After spending some time in this environment, the player will achieve a point where they find it's especially hard to progress. This is known as being hardstuck, sometimes related to the mythical loser's queue, a theory that says that players who lose are placed with more losers, but in reality it doesn't exist, they are just bad. But if enough time is given, they will learn that playing together is more important than lurking 7 rounds in a row to get 1 kill. Please Reina, please can you come play with the team, we need your flashes to entry. At some point, they may encounter a predator that lives in these competitive lands, the trolls. These are horrifying creatures that disguise themselves as players and lack any kind of intelligence. It feeds exclusively on people's time and anger, doing everything in their power to make the player's life miserable and guarantee a match loss.
If you ever encounter one of these in the wild, I advise you drop everything and run! Or you can just meet them, I don't know.
But once they find inner peace, it will emerge from their chrysalis as a beautiful butterfly. At this point, they have completely found a role and rank that they are happy and comfortable at, and they are finally enjoying the game. With their new wings, they will also fly to other games from time to time. But they will still play badly and get frustrated sometimes, and you know what? That's totally okay.